so hard to believe that it was already time for me to go back to Thailand. Even though I had waited a long time, it still felt so sudden. My awesome friends Andrew and Anya gave me a ride to the airport. Saying goodbye was difficult because I love my friends, but it was time for me to get on that plane and head to Thailand. After 2 days of flying, I finally arrived at the Bangkok airport. Surprisingly, it was completely dead. There was really only people from our plane there, and they had us sit in these seats as they checked our papers to make sure that we were legit. After I was approved, they sanitized my luggage, and then we headed to the quarantine hotel. Now, the quarantine hotel is just a hotel that has decided to be quarantined for incoming travelers. Since we are not allowed to leave our rooms whatsoever, the quarantine did provide meals. Sometimes they were good and sometimes they were not, but they were pretty decent. At first, I really enjoyed the view and just a little bit of resting, but I did get a little bit stir crazy after a while. I had to find things to keep me busy, and I did use the time to study Thai and hire a Thai tutor as well. Twice a day, I would take my temperature and send it to the nurse, and I think on day 10, I had my first COVID test. After 2 negative COVID tests, I would then be allowed to spend 45 minutes twice a day on either the rooftop terrace or by the pool. The rooftop was really hot, but also really nice. Good opportunity for me to get some physical exercise and journal. It was also really cool because you could see airplanes coming and going since we were right next to the airport. In the cooler evenings, I would go sit by the pool and read. The pool, I wasn't allowed to touch the water, but it was still really beautiful and relaxing and just nice to get out of my room. After I completed 16 days in quarantine, I was finally free, and I headed to Chiang Mai on the anniversary of me leaving Chiang Mai exactly 1 year ago. Oh, the broad shade of dawn, a soothing reminds me you're here. Today is my first day really walking around in Chiang Mai in a whole year, and it is morning time, but a lot of places are shut down, closed. It's a little disappointing because obviously I have a lot of places that I grew to love the last time that I lived here, so it's kind of sad to see how the economy has been affected by everything. But I did get to go and have breakfast at one of my favorite little places. Didn't do any vlogging in there because I felt awkward. So this is me vlogging in public and super awkward. This is the Niman area, and it's kind of like this trendy neighborhood. Definitely more expensive, but really nice to walk around in. Just take me in a foot with a given I am happy to say that I have a very busy week. I have a lot of people who want to see me. I'm actually meeting a new person that I met online through a forum. She's also a Christian worker. And then I'll also be meeting some old friends, as well as practical things like apartment hunting and getting my phone service back. That's going to be nice. Maybe you don't know this, but for an entire year in
America, I did not have phone service because here it cost me about like $15 a month for unlimited everything. And in America, it was like the cheapest I could find was like 30 or 40 a month for very limited everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having phone service. I'm about to go get my hair cut and see where the day takes me.
It was such a treat to get my hair done. I hadn't done anything to it in such a long time. And of course, things in Thailand are far less expensive, so that was a bonus. I was a little nervous because Thai people usually do not have curly hair, but as you can see, they did a really good job. I did have to go back and get them to cut it a little bit more like the shape I asked, but the results are really good. My first big adventure was learning how to use the laundromat. It actually was quite simple. Everything was in Thai, but a lot of things did have English translation. But what I loved about this little place is that they had like a desk and you could sit and work on your laptop while you waited for your laundry to finish. The second great adventure was getting my motorbike back. I love my motorbike so much. It is so fun to ride. But of course the inspection sticker was expired and there were a lot of repairs that were needed since I hadn't used it in a year. So I went and got that taken care of. It was really awesome and I was back on the road in no time. One of my favorite ministries here is the All Nations House of Prayer. I come here 3 or 4 times a week to pray and worship and minister to the heart of the Lord. It's so encouraging to worship in many languages. After all, it is the All Nations House of Prayer. Every time we come together and we worship the Lord, I am so encouraged. I believe prayer is so important here, especially because of the unique spiritual climate and strongholds in this area. In Chiang Mai alone, there's over 300 Buddhist temples. Even though Buddhism is the main religion here, it's really intermingled with animism, ancestor worship, folk religions, and even Hinduism. So there's a lot to pray about. I decided to go chill with some cats at Catmosphere Cat Cafe, and I absolutely love how precious each kitty is. Oh my gosh. I came in the afternoon, so of course everyone was napping, but this is a great place and the cats are really well taken care of. My main focus during the first year of living in Thailand is to learn the language. So I started language school, and I don't have a lot of good footage here, but I've been studying a lot and even hired a couple of language helpers. This is Jaja. She is my friend and also one of my language helpers.
So, I'm wearing my helmet because I'm on my motorbike, and I don't have a lot going on today, so I decided to go exploring and just drive. And I ended up in this area called Serape, maybe 15 minutes from my house, but it feels like a whole nother world. I'll show you real quick. And I'm just driving around, and this area is, there's a lot of poor people here, and just kind of just seeing them look at me kind of like what is this foreigner doing in this side of town. I'm just smiling at them, just kind of amazed at like even just what a smile can do. But as I'm riding around, I feel compelled to pray over this area, and I'm just overwhelmed with the love of Jesus for these people. It's, oh my gosh, I might cry. It's amazing, you know, I see him in them, you know, and yeah, I just so desperately want them to know, and he wants them to know. This is good for me because it encourages me to keep going and to keep learning, because I guarantee you these people out here, the majority of them, they don't speak English. This is why I'm learning Thai. So I don't have to just drive around and pray, but I can actually stop and have a conversation with the lady selling mangoes, or, you know, say hi to the guy who's praying at the temple and throwing water on the Buddha. And I'm not there yet, but this is good motivation. I want to show you this area. I want to kind of give you a taste of what it really looks like, because I live in the city. I live in a nicer area, and I don't think that that's really showing you the reality that a lot of these people live in. But out of respect for them, I'm not going to film them sitting in their homes unless, you know, they've given me express permission. And so yeah, just pray for Thailand. And this area is called Serape, so you can pray for Serape, his kingdom here in Thailand as it is in heaven.
I got to attend Easter Sunday at my church here in Thailand before our major third wave of COVID happened. So then I had to attend church online, so I just watched my home church from America and also tuned in to Upperroom, of course, and got my worship on because he's worthy, and that's how I do. So a big portion of what I do as an international worker is actually administrative work. I spend a lot of time crafting newsletters and prayer updates, as well as connecting with supporters and filling out expense reports, answering emails, things like that. And I like to do that in a cafe. And this is one of my favorite ones. This is actually a tea shop called Monsoon Tea, and it's kind of out of the way. I don't think a lot of people know about it. And I love to come and just order a pitcher of iced tea, the best tea ever, and work all day and get a lot done.
Something I knew. Room for family and friends, hear the laughter or the sound of something I know. The familiar roads with no windows.
Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember to be praying for Thailand, his kingdom here as it is in heaven.
'Cause you're holding me now, there's no rules to follow. I know who you are now, I'm running in different ways, so over once, but